In your opinion, panelists, if we suffered an attack on our IT infrastructure in this country in such a way that internet banking and ATM and wire transfer were to go down for 2 days, what impact, in your opinion, do you think that would have in this country?
It would have a big economic as well as a big psychological impact. You have certain websites such as eBay and Amazon, which are making like $1 million an hour, so to speak. And if those sites were to go down, you're talking about, you know, millions and millions of dollars all being lost. But you also have a psychological aspect to it. You know, we became very used to having access. And once, you know, you lose that access, you can't get access to your banking, you know, there becomes a distrust with the infrastructure. More people will probably try to keep more of their money in their possessions than put it in the bank. We talked earlier today about cloud computing, and there's a slow adoption to it, but people are moving towards cloud computing. But if you can't get access to your information that's on the cloud when you want it to, and that's part of the information security paradigm that Pat talked about, or I think Dr. Brown, with confidentiality, availability, and integrity. If the availability is not there, you've lost part of your information security aspect, and there's less trust in using those tools and so forth.
How do we think differently, regardless of where we are? What sort of things should we be thinking about? How do we make ourselves more secure? Because after all, we all know how to do physical security. We start thinking about it when we go stay in a hotel. Don't get the room on the first floor. Don't get the room near the elevator. Those things come to our head naturally. But what's not coming to our head, and it's been made very much clear by you, the panelists already, is that we don't think the same way when we start dealing with IT infrastructure virtually.
Yeah, one of the things that I got from the presentation, both Dr. Brown and Pat talked about how we are behind the malicious people and the hackers. And part of that is because we're doing things the same way for the past 20 years. You know, the first antivirus that came out used what they call signature-based technology, where it finds a known pattern and it compares that to a particular situation to let you know what's happening. There was a report that came out by McAfee recently stated that there's about 100,000 malware that goes through their system every day. And of the 100,000, 500,000 of them is a different variant, meaning that there isn't a signature. And McAfee is one of the biggest companies out there, and it still takes them about 3 to 4 days to implement these signatures. So if you're talking about some smaller companies, it may take about a week or so. So basically, going towards a new paradigm of using 20-year-old technology like signature-based and going to more intelligent technology, like artificial intelligence, statistical analysis. You know, those are the kind of things that could give us that shift to maybe close the gap, because it seems like we're always going to be behind, but the thing is that we want to close the gap. Another key thing is, you know, with the survey that she was talking about and, you know, people not using the firewall, you know, it's all about awareness. You know, we need to do more awareness. I remember, you know, hearing some people talk about they never wore seatbelts back in the days. But now you can't get a young person to get in the car without putting a seatbelt. And that's because of a certain level of awareness that was put in their mind that now they wear seatbelts. So we need to kind of bring awareness, you know, through companies, through PSAs and so forth, to let users like us and the new users come in to know, like, okay, these are the things that you have to do, you know, to kind of keep that going on, you know, through time.